Sandy, are you there? Pick up, would you? Are you still holed up in your room playing games on your computer? You do know that you're a housewife. You have responsibilities. You know, like cooking and cleaning. I won't stand for this loafing off all the time. Is this you, Mother? I'm not at home right now. I had to go out for a while. Huh? You're out? Where? Hey, wait a sec. Don't tell me you used that spare key to get into her house. How many times have I said we need our privacy? You can't just go in and out of her house whenever you like. I thought Mark took that away from you. How'd you get it back, or did you make another spare somehow? Yes, just in case. I had another one made. What's wrong with that? Are you serious? Anyway, what are you doing going out on a weekday? You should be at home cleaning or cooking tonight's dinner for Mark. Don't tell me you're having an affair. I will not stand for it. Are you for real, Mother? Are you really asking me that? I really can't be doing this. I'm in the middle of the crosswalk texting this. Where the hell are you? I'm sorry, but I really don't have time for this. Gotta go. Oh, and please don't go into my office space. I have important work stuff there. I put a lock on the door just in case, so... You what? Put a lock on your door? Gotta go, sorry. Sandy, are you there? Do you have a minute? Hi, Mother. Nice evening, huh? Can I help you with something? I'm going to get right to the point. I want you to live with me under one roof from this day forward. Seriously? Where did this idea come from all of a sudden? There was no use trying to hide it. The doctor gave you a life expectancy, am I right? Huh? Life expectancy? Like I got a year or two to live? Is that what you're saying? Yes, not in years though. I hear it's like 3 months. You have 3 months to live. Knowing that you married Mark, how could you? I can't believe you kept it secret. You married Mark and joined our family knowing full well that you didn't have long to live. Excuse me, but where the hell did you hear that? 3 months, are you for real? You did go to the hospital yesterday. Don't lie to me. I had you checked out. Yes. A friend of mine was in the hospital for an injury, so I visited and... I said don't lie to me. To be truthful, I want you to divorce Mark right away, but getting rid of a daughter-in-law who has 3 months to live, well, it wouldn't look very in the public's eye. But the fact is you conned Mark into marrying you. That's an unforgivable crime. As punishment for misleading us, I want you to use the rest of your life, the 3 months you have left to work for me, to do everything I say. You got that? We will live under one roof from this day forward. Don't you even think of checking into the hospital. I really can't make that decision right away. No, you must make up your mind right this minute. Hey, Mark, you still working? Can I talk to you for a second?
Hey, Sandy, what's up?
I just got a text message from your mom. Is she off her rocker? She's saying some weird stuff.
What did she say this time?
Well, this is gonna sound strange, but please bear with me. Apparently, I have a life expectancy of 3 months. I have 3 months to live, it seems. So, during these 3 months, she wants me to live with her and work as her slave until I die.
She really must be off her rocker. You got that physical in the last month, right? The results said you were super healthy. Not a thing wrong with you. And you have 3 months to live? Who the hell told her that?
Yeah, weird, huh?
Wait a sec. Could it be about that?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe she came to the house without permission and happened to eavesdrop on me while I was working. She's always sneaking in and out of our house.
I see.
So, what do we do about it?
Yeah, well, we got everything prepared and ready to go, so what do you say? Is the mission a go?
Roger that. Sandy, what's taking so long? I haven't received your answer yet. What are you going to do? How much longer are you going to make me wait? Sorry, didn't mean to keep you waiting for so long. I just got a call from a friend, couldn't pick up. And so, what are you going to do? Are you ready to live together? Okay, as you requested, I won't check into the hospital. Now that's the answer I wanted to hear. Get ready for Mother's boot camp. But I need a little time to get things packed up. Huh? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you want me to move into your place with just the clothes on my back, do you? I need to pack my belongings, my apron, white gloves for checking for dust. You know, cleaning stuff. Do you just want me to dress in one set of clothes? Well, of course, you'll need a change. Right? So I need at least 3 days to get everything ready. Are you okay with that? I will get all my stuff ready during this time, so please be patient. And another thing, the house will probably be really dusty while I'm getting prepared, and we all know you have a severe allergy when it comes to dust, so I urge you not to come to the house during this time, for your own good. You're right about that. Your place is dusty as it is, so... Yes, well, 3 days and I'm expecting you. Sandy, are you there? It's been 3 days. I take it you're all done packing and ready to come over. It's almost evening. Grab your luggage and get over here right away. I need you to prepare dinner. I also have a list of chores I want you to do starting tomorrow morning. This place will look like new in 3 months' time. Lots of trash lying around, too. The bathroom and toilet need cleaning, too. Oh, yeah, and fridge is packed with expired food. I need you to clean that all out and refill it. Like I said, dinner tonight. It's almost 5 p.m. Just get over here, would you? There's 3 days of dishes piled up in the kitchen sink, so you don't have much time before dinner time. I would hurry if I was you. You can run down to the grocery store before they close and pick up all the stuff you need. I would appreciate if you would foot the bill, too. I mean, you're not going to need the money in a few months anyway. I really want to eat some steak tonight, the best they have. A bottle of red wine to go with that steak would be fantastic. I'll leave it up to you to pick out a bottle. Not the cheap chili wine, but a nice bottle of French Bordeaux. Oh, hello, Mother. As for Mark and I, we just arrived at our new home about an hour ago. Huh? What are you talking about? Yeah, just got in. Of course, all our luggage is still on the way, of course. I'm really busy with work now, so we just brought the bare essentials. Right now, I'm hammering away at my computer. Gotta get this project done over the weekend. As for tonight's dinner, we're thinking of ordering out some Vietnamese food. There was a nice one down the street. Actually, red wine goes good with ethnic foods. Huh? What the hell are you blabbering about? I don't see any sign of your luggage arriving. You're nowhere in sight. Have you lost your mind? Maybe the doctor screwed up. Your life expectancy was short-lived? Excuse the pun. That must be it. You're losing it sooner than expected. Sandy, answer me! Mother, what's the matter? Where in God's sake are you? I was getting impatient and went over to the house to bring you to my place myself. The next-door neighbor came out and said you and Mark had already moved out. Like I said earlier, we arrived at our new place at a little after 2 p.m. What are you talking about? We made a deal. You said you wouldn't check into the hospital and that you would give yourself up to me until your time is up. Hold on a second. I never said I would give myself up to you, as you so eloquently put it. Yeah, I said I wouldn't check into the hospital, but I never said I would be your slave. And about us moving, well, we had this plan way back. Besides, I'm perfectly healthy. I just got a medical checkup last month and I passed with flying colors. No need for me to check into a hospital. Huh? What's going on here? What are you saying? What about the life expectancy? The fact that you have 3 months to live? Mother, you enter our home without permission and eavesdrop on our conversation, am I right? That's probably when you heard about the 3-month life expectancy fantasy. Fantasy? No, I heard it loud and clear. That you only had 3 months to live. Clear as day. I heard it. It was some conversation that you were having online. The voice was through speaker, as I recall. What you heard was dialogue from a script. A script? What are you talking about? This involves my work, so I really can't talk in detail about it, but you do know that Mark is a scriptwriter, and also that he rents out a small office downtown. Well, more like small apartment hotel, where he can concentrate on his work. Yes, of course I know that. He says he can't concentrate on his work while at home. Too many distractions. He's always been that way. Even when he was living at home, he used to rent out a weekly apartment when he wanted to get work done. Yes, and that hasn't changed after we got married. As for me, I put aside a room in our home as my workroom. You knew we worked this way, but you would always sneak into our place without permission. Always making sure Mark wasn't there, and interrupting my work. Huh? Are you still insisting that you're some sort of businesswoman? You're just a housewife. Can't you get that through your head? You're a housewife just locking yourself up in your little playroom like some high school geek. Mother, are you still saying such things? You've been saying the same old thing ever since we got married. But it's true, isn't it? Your son is a scriptwriter and has been working this way for years. Suddenly, I come into your life and you can't seem to accept the way we live. You should open your eyes and face the facts. What are you talking about? Mark says he'll explain the rest. So, that's all I have to say. Goodbye.
Mom, are you there? So, you heard what Sandy had to say, right?
Mark, where are you? Your neighbor said you moved out. What's going on? I learned that Sandy only had 3 months to live, but now I find out she's actually healthy as an ox. What's going on? But I was sure I heard Sandy speaking with somebody in her room, and I definitely heard that she had 3 months left to live.
Like Sandy said earlier, that was a dialogue from a script. I wrote it.
Huh? What are you talking about?
The script I'm currently writing involves a woman who only has 3 months left to live. It's a tragic love story. Well, I wrote the script and dialogue, and then the voice actors take over and read the script. And then we edit and synchronize that on the PC. Sandy handles all of the editing work.
Oh, okay. Not sure how all that works, to be honest.
Well, simply put, Sandy is our script editor. She edits the actual voice recordings and synchronizes that to the images. You probably heard the edited dialogue that Sandy was working on. The part where the doctor tells the main character that she only has 3 months to live. The timing of your eavesdropping was spot on. You probably thought someone was talking to Sandy and telling her the bad news.
I can't believe this. So that was all an act. They were actors' voices.
Yep. So, Mom, we have to live our own lives. We can't have you disrupting our daily lives. So, I'm sorry to say this, but we no longer want any contact with you.
Huh? No contact? What do you mean? You're cutting me off? I'm your mother, for God's sake.
Well, actually, I always wanted to say something. You've always been super nosy about everything I did. That's why I had to work outside the home. Even in school, I always did my homework at the library or at the park. You do remember that, right?
Well, you said you couldn't concentrate at home. You need to work where it was quiet.
Right. It was because of you. You would always interrupt and nag on me all day. That's why I couldn't concentrate.
Huh? Me? You couldn't concentrate because of me?
Yes. You would always come into my room and complain about this or that. It drove me batshit. And when I was writing my scripts, I needed to concentrate completely on my work. With you nagging me constantly, it was impossible. Well, because I couldn't concentrate, it eventually affected my work. So what I did was rent out a small apartment hotel and use it as my office. A place where I would have zero interruptions. Nobody breathing down my neck. I eventually got used to this style of working and continue this way even after getting married to Sandy. Sandy is a film editor by trade. I met her on a project we worked on together. She never had a problem with her folks interrupting her work, so she continued her style of working after we married, but as it turned out, Sandy started getting hounded.
But I thought she was just a housewife, not a film person.
Actually, I told you all about her and her current job, but I guess you didn't bother to hear any of it.
I thought she quit after you guys got married.
I told you 100 times that we would continue working together as a team after we got married. This is a clear-cut case of abuse.
Huh? I was only trying to.
I am at the end of my rope. Mom, you harping on about this or that has really affected our work. We had to do something drastic to put an end to it. We just could not go on like this any longer. So please, we want you out of our lives.
Mark, you can't be serious. I'm your mother. What am I gonna do? Will I survive without you? You do realize that your father and I divorced years ago. I'm all alone. Are you going to abandon me to live in that big old house all alone?
Well, if you're willing to enter a senior citizen's home, I could help you with the process, if you want.
Senior citizens.
You could also think about returning to your folks' place back in Montana. That might be the best. Nice and quiet there. You could still work. You have some options. If you don't appreciate mine, well, work it out yourself. We really don't have the time and energy for this. I'm really sorry.
That's all easy for you to say. I haven't worked in years, and besides, what would I even do?
You want to contact me? Please go through Uncle Jim or Aunt Nellie, back in Montana. Don't cry and contact us directly. I think of this as permanent. I don't intend to see you ever again.
No, please, Mark, you can't do this.
Goodbye, Mom.
At first, we intended to just move far away, but I think something snapped inside Mark when he heard that his mother truly believed that he had only 3 months left to live. His mother actually seemed to revel in it, and that she was going to use me as a slave for the 3 months I had left of my life. Such a callous attitude. That was probably it. We had leased our current house some time back, and we're just looking for the right opportunity to put our plans into motion. And his mom gave us that. It was the right decision to move far from her, and to keep her address a secret. As for my mother-in-law, she was in shock for a couple of weeks, but I heard that Mark's uncle convinced her to return to her parents' home in Montana. But it seems she started nagging her other relatives, mainly her nephew's new bride, which again got her kicked out of the family. Last I heard, she's still living in Montana, but in another town far from her parents' place. Apparently, it's a tiny beat-up apartment.
Yo, Chris! You happen to work for Jarvis, right? Is that you, Parker? It's been a very long time, right? The last time you and I saw each other was maybe 5 years ago at that class reunion? Yo, answer the dang question for me. You happen to work for the company Jarvis now, right? That's right. I started to work for Jarvis around 3 years ago when I changed over to this company. As of right now, I'm working in the sales department. I've worked with Jarvis in their sales department before plenty of times, but I never once noticed that you were there with them. Ah, I see. You're working for Cadillac's commercial affairs team now, right? I happen to just become the manager for all of our work with Cadillac recently. Oh? You're the one in charge now? This all happened for me so fast, with the promotion and such. But the last manager ended up leaving his job for a few reasons that I'm not aware of. I'm sure that you'd recognize that manager if you saw him, since I'm sure you ran into him a couple of times then. Yeah, probably. Well, I can see that you're doing alright for yourself now then. And that's where you're working now. Well, I'm glad that we were both able to catch up. See ya! Ah, right. See you again sometime. Parker? Do you have some time to chat with me? Huh? When I'm over at Cadillac trying to deal with some important work, do you mind not putting me in headlocks all the time? Or coming up behind me and hitting me in the back? Yo, Chris. You need to start calling me Mr. Parker from now on. I'm the one who has a position above your own now. Don't you dare think you can call me by my name without adding some form of a formality to it, you lowlife. What are you talking about? Jarvis and Cadillac don't have that kind of connection with one another. No, I'm the leader of the team that deals with you guys now, and I've decided that I can do whatever I want when it comes to all of you. You became the leader? And if you were just to take a look at the size of this company compared to Jarvis, you'd know better than to think you were on the same level as me. No matter what you try and say, Cadillac is seen as the company on top of Jarvis. So all you guys are over there is a contractor to us. I don't believe either one of the companies we work for had that kind of relationship with the other, actually. Hey, you need to be more formal with me. You'd better start thinking of how to talk to me like I'm your boss. Well, anyway, what I'm wanting to talk with you about is related to our work. So can you please stop speaking such nonsense to me? Huh? What did you just say to me? You've always kind of been this way to me, ever since middle school. And not just me, I suppose, but to everyone you're ever around. You forget to think about how others feel about you, and will do anything and everything for yourself without a bother in the world. Back in middle school, you happened to make a lot of trouble for one of the teachers who was pregnant at the time, and got kicked out of her class. And there were plenty of other times there as well where you had to go to detention for being rude and obnoxious to everyone else. You even ended up being suspended that one time for causing a scene in the lunchroom by pushing someone else over while they were carrying your lunch tray. I guess you really never learned that from suspension anyway, so it was probably better to take another approach as trying to make you behave, but anyway, have you still not noticed that your kind of nonchalant behavior about everything is not helpful to those around you? Huh? Who gives a crap about everyone around me? Because I feel that they have a problem, they can bring it up with me. I'm sure back in school that kind of thought process worked out for you. But we're adults now working in two very large companies. You contractors and your preaching always takes way too long. I told you that I'm not a contractor to your company. I understand that you and I have history all the way back to middle school, but at the moment, all we are to one another is business partners. Or, well, customers. In other words, I'd like it if things between us remain that way and you stop it with all the horseplay when I come over to the office. Especially right now when both of our companies are starting to make some big decisions between one another and need to be serious. Alrighty then. I'll be more careful around you. Oh, Chris, you've made it. Just like that other man that was working as the manager for relations between my company and yours. You happened to give a good meeting about those plans there. But listen, bud. What the hell do you think you're doing bringing plans up like that to my company when you're just a contractor to us? You trying to make a point there? Ah, I see. I'm betting you thought that to prove that both of our jobs are equal to one another, you decided to bring in those plans and make a whole meeting up about them to show everyone here you're more than a contractor. Well, it's because of thinking like that I'll never be able to take you low-life contractors seriously over here. Alright, this is my chance to make a move. I'm going to help you understand just the position a manager like you is really in, Mr. Contractor. I hope you're looking forward to this, because I sure am. Parker, give me back those plans and proposals. I'm planning to use all of those again for today's meeting. Also, what the heck are you thinking taking that SD card from me that had all those papers downloaded on them for safekeeping? If I don't have any of those by the time of the meeting, I won't be able to have it. Do you have any idea what the heck you're doing right now? Yo, I took a quick read over all those plans and proposals you have here. I don't think any of these will do, to be honest with you. They're being rejected. Huh? This is something I've been wanting to tell you for a while now. For a contractor like you to be bringing proposals like that to a company is a freaking joke. Some bullcrap like this that's been thought up by a low-life contractor like you is only good for one thing. Fuel for my fire. Haha. Huh? Are you gonna burn all of that? Actually, the fire's already going. Everything's in there. I'm sure you're not gonna be needing this SD card anymore either, right? Well, I just stomped on it for you, so you don't need to answer that. That whole feeling of superiority you had there is all gone now, right? Parker! Now that I'm the new leader for the team dealing with you and that company, I'm gonna make sure you all understand just what kind of company you're all working for now. Do you have a single clue what the hell you've just done, Parker? I told you exactly what I've done. I destroyed it all. Because ideas coming from contractors like you mean nothing to me and my team. Nor this whole entire company. I worked very hard to snatch all those papers from you, as well as that SD card today in order to remind you what kind of position you're really in. The leader of that team is still Justin, as I recall. Well, starting today, Justin is no longer leading the team, and in his place, I stand. Well, I was never officially told any sort of news like that from any higher ups, nor yours. And actually, as we speak, my company is on the line with yours asking who is in charge of that team. Huh? To me, it seems that you've been causing a lot of problems for Justin and the team there. And from today, are you trying to act as though you're in charge now, right? I'm sure you're just doing all that to make me feel worried and upset. Or something needless like that. What are you getting at here? I was just doing my job for this company by making sure idiot contractors like you don't get the wrong idea and think it's okay to be making proposals for this company. If anything, I'd really like a thank you from you right now for helping both companies out. Parker. I had thought you knew about my position in Jarvis, and the relation we have with Cadillac. But I guess you really don't have a single clue. Huh? I'm sure I shouldn't be having to say something like this to you right now. But listen here, Parker. Those plans and proposals that you just burnt up and smashed on the floor happen to not only be thought up by my company. What? those proposals that were given to us came from your team's leader, Justin, and he had asked for us to brush them up a little here. Also, that by the time we put them into action, there would be no faults anywhere. And as for some final work that was being put into all those proposals and plans, I had created a PowerPoint on that SD card to give at the meeting showcasing what we had done and where we planned to go with everything. Huh? As for today, during that joint meeting we'll be having, there will be both the CEO from Cadillac and the CEO from Jarvis there to see what ideas we have ready. And not just them, but also other customers to both our companies will be there watching. What did you just say? It will only be a matter of time before everyone begins to show up for that meeting. All to see what we've thought up to help both companies work together even closer from here on out. But after what you've done, I'm sure you can guess what'll happen to you now, right? Wait a second. Luckily that SD card and those papers have all been backed up to another hard drive back at Jarvis. So I can go back there to retrieve all that information as long as the meeting has moved to another date, or later this evening. So I'm not so worried about having that meeting or not. What I'm worried about is your behavior, and the actions you took today in the order to try and get me to kneel to you. At this point in time, all of Cadillac is in a panic trying to find out what's happened to you, and what you did with all the proposals we had. Whoa! I'm sure that the smartphone you're texting me with right now is also being blown up by all your coworkers and bosses, right? Do you think it's going to help you in the future to ignore all of them right now? No, wait. I just assumed that after dealing with you, I could get right back to work and talk with them all then. I'd say your best bet now is to start answering to all of them, and come back to the office to answer for what you've done. You really need to be made aware of the severity of all you've just done, and the only way that'll happen is if you come back here and face the consequences. Chris! Do something about all of this for me! What do you want from me? Right now, my uncle is completely pissed at me. If things keep escalating like they have been, I might end up getting fired from my job here. That's right. You so happen to be the nephew of one of the directors within Cadillac. And that's the whole reason you were even able to get a job there in the first place, right? So far, your uncle has apologized for all your actions there many times over. Huh? He's apologized for me? Have you finally come to an understanding of the predicament you're in right now? No way! I was finally able to get a decent job at a company like this, and have been racking in even more money than I ever imagined I'd be able to. Because of my connection to my uncle, I was even able to get a raise and everything. And the job has been so simple for me that I barely feel as though I'm working at all when I'm here. I don't want to be thrown out of a job that's as easy as this one. Well, what would it mean to you if that uncle of yours is no longer a director there? What? Due to all the trouble you've caused this time by ruining the meeting we were supposed to have, and almost destroying all the work Jarvis and Cadillac had worked for, your uncle had to really step in and take responsibility for you. Huh? Are you kidding me? And, well, this was the last straw for the company and your uncle, so they terminated him already. One other thing. That leader, Justin, that you've been trying to take the spot of forcefully, happens to be the grandson of your CEO. Are you freaking kidding me? The rest of this is probably things I shouldn't really be talking about with you. But you have to understand that you're acting like a spoiled brat that thinks they can get away with anything within that company. It's not acceptable by any means, right? No. No. This is all a lie. I was just wanting to make the workplace more lively. And that's why I did a bunch of things like that to spice things up a bit. And when I started to work on the team dealing with you and that company, I hated to think that some contractor like you would have the balls to try preaching to me like that. That's not a good way of thinking about Cadillac and Jarvis's partnership. Really shows just how horrible of a person you really are, Parker. What? You have not grown up one bit since we first met back in middle school, and that's just sad. If anything, you've only gone backwards in terms of personal growth, and it's felt like I've been dealing with a preschooler when I'm around you here. What the hell did you say? I'm sorry, but I have a meeting to get to now. Huh? Why do you have to go to a meeting all of a sudden? Well, due to your outburst yesterday, along with your actions, the meeting between both our companies had to be delayed until today. For crying out loud! Don't you dare leave me with no help when I'm about to lose my job! You were the one that ruined the gift your uncle had given you by getting you into that company. Why do I have to be the one blamed for all that? You understand the phrase, you'll get what's coming for you? What? Other than the things I've just said to you, there's nothing else I'd like to talk with you about. I'll be going now. Frick! As you just saw, I was able to hold that meeting with the rest of my group and Cadillac's team, and it all went over really well for everyone. But, while that was taking place, Parker went ahead and did something far worse. It appears that he was really in love with the woman working the front desk of the office building, and he refused to stay home from work while the company performed its investigation into him. He came into the building with a bouquet of roses for her, and he proposed to her in the lobby of the building. He totally had the confidence to think that she'd never say no to him, but she told him a swift no, and he began to throw a fit in the lobby, which ended up with him being taken into custody by police. And with that, the CEO came down to him before the police took him away and told him that he was fired. Both of Parker's parents told him to never come around them as they disowned him, and he no longer was able to get into contact with any other members of his family. He also had a restraining order put on him by the girl at the front desk. Parker could no longer handle all the holes that he was continuing to put himself into, and one day he had one last hurrah on the subway, drinking loads of alcohol and making a complete mess of himself. He was taken back into custody by police. However, this time he wouldn't be lucky enough to escape the court system. I'm not sure how long he'll be locked up for, but I hope that he keeps acting up in there so that he has to stay longer, as there is no way anyone wants a menace like him back on the streets causing problems for the public.